Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Flip Dot Show. It's your host with the most, King True, thoughts of everything about where it wants to flow. And we coming at you live at 12:45. This is going to be Jay-Z is fighting parental, 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 yeah, like parental rights, like right, parental lawsuit from Rymir, the person that's claiming to be his son, and supposedly right when the DNA court session was going to happen with Jay pitching in the cup, Rymir was attacked by Jay's goons. We're going to check this out. Appreciate everybody liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, hitting that notification bell so I know y'all there so I can go to you in here. Let's get into it.
Sean Carter, the Jigga Man, is under fire again. This time it's a little bit different. There are claims that he has an illegitimate son out there, and the son is trying to get him to participate in a paternity test to prove that Jay Z is the papa. Now, the history of this is kind of weird. The man,
Yeah, you're trying to get him to do a paternity test. There you go.
his name is Rymir. He is supposedly the son of Jay Z. At least that's what his mama done told him. His mother was a lady named Rymir Satterthwsite. She said that they had a relationship back in 1992. Now, here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. In 1992, she was approximately 16 years old. And she said that Mr. Carter and her had a brief encounter, a bedroom encounter, and he was around 22 years old. And for many of you, if you see the problem already, make sure you interact with the chat real quick. Make sure you put a one that you saw the age difference and the problem with the age difference, because that will come back later. Um,
I know you guys have never used samples like this before. Have you guys ever wished that your sample library knew exactly what your track?
so anyway, she gives birth to Rymir in 1993. And from then on, she starts to develop some medical issues, and she goes into, at one point, a medically induced coma and all that stuff. But before all that, she did not put Mr. Jay Z as the father on the birth certificate. So most people would not assume that he was the dad. Eventually, what really happened was in by 2010, the paternity idea starts to gain some traction. And there were some people, one in particular, Lily Colley, decided to start a paternity suit on his behalf. Now, that didn't go anywhere because Jay Z's attorney, we know Jay Z's got plenty of money, has decided that they're denying that, and the courts didn't take it any further. Now, they didn't stop there because it got dismissed in 11. Another one was filed later on in 15 again, but this one was against Jay Z's people claiming fraudulent documents and obstructing of justice. By the time 2019 rolls around, Mr. Ramir's mother passed away due to illnesses related to heart failure. So then by the following year, he has decided to really jump in with both feet to try and get a rectification to the situation. Now, if you remember hearing about him around 2023, 24, when he really became vocally active on screen, telling people that he was indeed Jay Z's son, his biggest hope was that eventually they could get called to do a paternity test. Thus far, Jay Z has been unwilling to do exactly that. In fact, he submitted it to the Supreme Court in 2023. The Supreme Court tried sending it forward, and then they declined it before it got too far. Again, brings a civil one. Now, this is, to me, this is persistence on the side of Rymir. He really wants to get some answers. I can't blame the man. I'd want to know who my pops is too. So in 24, he files a civil complaint with the New Jersey court requesting a DNA test. The judge allows it in June of 24 to proceed forward and then formally asks Jay Z to respond to this paternity claim. Jay Z filed another motion to dismiss the case. So Rymir and his guardian decides to go further again, decides to file a federal lawsuit accusing Jay Z's team of fraud, bribery, and of course, obstructing justice again. Fast forward to this year, and now we have multiple celebrities joining in the fray to try and back up Rymir on his claims. Yeah, whatever their reasons are, really don't know. 50 Cent is one, and Nicki Minaj is another. They both have at least voiced their opinions based on tweets and statements out made in the ether about this case, hoping that Jay-Z goes through to get the paternity test. Now, June 18th is supposedly, July 18th is the deadline for Rymir to file any more legal motions and responses, and hopefully Jay-Z responds to those as well. And here is the alleged stuff part of this conversation. We believe the reason Jay-Z does not want to go through with the paternity test is not that he doesn't want to have a son. I don't think he cares how many kids he has. I think the biggest issue here is that he doesn't want nobody to know that the person was 16 and he was 22. You see, that opens a whole different can of worms. Because here's the thing, if the judge in this situation decides to request and demand a DNA test of Mr. Carter, there could be multiple other women who could say, I indeed had a time with Mr. Jay-Z, or in some cases, he had his way with me when I was underage. It's not the first time we've heard this about Jay-Z, right? You remember how multiple people said that when he would do music deals, he would have his way with the younger ones before they were signed? That was a rumor some time ago. And Beyonce got mad at that kind of procedure and eventually kind of subsided, but then it picked back up. And the last one he did that to, I think they said was Aaliyah, something like that. Remember? That was his MO. Now, if this proves to be true and he does take this DNA test and it does prove that Rymir is his son, that also proves his propensity to go and deal with underage girls. Now, if that gets to be true, and the rumors start to gain traction that he did that with his clients, people he signed, will they come forward and say, yes, that is true? In order to get my contract, I had to sleep with Jay-Z, and this was the coercive manners in which he did it, and I can prove that I signed on the dotted line at a certain age. You see where this can go. Now, whether or not the judge is waiting to see what Jay-Z does and see if he's going to have to demand a DNA test, because I'm going to make my prediction. Jay-Z ain't taking no DNA test. He's not doing it. There is no way he's going to voluntarily take that DNA test. Not with this accusation on board. Nope. Look, I know Jay-Z's many things, but a dummy ain't one of them. He's not going to put his name to paper and put his DNA on paper and say that I did indeed have my way sexually with a 16-year-old when I was 22. He's not going to claim that. He knows what will happen if he does that. That is the end of the Jigga Man's end. It is over. Over. Rock Nation go hit rock bottom. I'm telling you right.
And that's how you use CRMs. Questions?
Or you can just move to Monday CRM, a platform to manage all of your sales needs and view your team's entire pipeline in one place. So every rep can easily find even the smallest of details, whether you need to do something quick, like change your lead status, or something big, like sending a mass email to hundreds of leads. It's all effortless. It's customizable without any code, from the columns to the fields. Set your own deal stages and automations to keep deals moving forward behind the scenes. Your customizable dashboards connect all of the pieces so you can see tomorrow's deals today. Now that you've got everything in one place, you can get the deal over the finish line. Go to Monday CRM and start your free trial today.
The future of your business is here. With Wix, you get advanced AI capabilities for more customization, more time, and more growth. Speed up your website copy with an AI text generator that delivers a consistent brand voice to every corner of your site. Unlimited unique visuals enhance every piece of content you create. Instantly transform any idea into an image right from the comfort of your platform. And win back hours of hard work with AI-powered emails designed to perform. More conversions, less hassle. Smart benchmarks show you exactly where you stand in the market. See what's working and what needs work so you can quickly spot your next opportunity and take your business where you want to go. Oh, and we're just getting started. Go to Wix.com and make it happen.
now. You want to see a well just dry up? It's gonna be there because of this. We look, Diddy ain't gonna have nothing on him at this point. Trust and believe me, there would be way more evidence, way more on Jay-Z than there ever was with Diddy when it comes to underage people. Why? If this is proven true, this is tangible proof that it was a 16-year-old. Dates and time matter. If he was 21, 19, and she was 16, it'd be illegal. Regardless of how you look at it, it's illegal. And then if he is older and he's still doing it with 16, 15, and 17-year-olds, still illegal. Statutes of limitations be damned. He's going to find at least one, maybe two, that he's done that with within the last 10 years. It'll be, when I say it'll be done, it'll be done. So I can see why the man ain't going to take no paternity test. I will fight that tooth. I have the money to do it. I will keep denying it, putting motion in front of motion in front of motion. As long as the cows have breath in my farm, I will never take that DNA test. To however the kid feels, I don't care if he's my son. I really don't care. I'm trying to save my empire. I'm trying to save my money, and I'm trying to save my reputation. I don't care if you're my kid. That's Jay-Z. You know how we can tell that? By the fact that he won't just go ahead and take the stinking DNA test. If you know you didn't sleep with a 16-year-old, why wouldn't you just take the test? If the allegations are, Jay-Z, Mr. Carter, if the allegations are, this kid is of a certain age, and for this to be the age, you would have to be at this age, and the mother would have to be at that age, and you know for a fact you never slept with a 16-year-old, just take the test. But you can't, because that would
but he doesn't want to, so that clearly insinuates that he does know that's his son.
open too many floodgates, and your whole career will be over. Then Beyonce gonna bounce with about half your entire money. Is it gonna be over with? It's over. I don't know exactly how people are going to take to him. Maybe just maybe. You might think to yourself, that'd be somewhere you could do it. It'd be fine. No one should be upset for me. To me, hey, listen to me. It seems as though that you have a lot riding on this. A lot. You have a lot riding on this. Consider this, Mr. Jay-Z. Consider that you do take into account certain laws in certain states. Let's say that's what you do. You say to yourself, well, I'm safe in
Yeah, shout out to Z Strong too, for the content.
this state. All of your work isn't done in just one state, is it? Now, hear me out. If you go to, say, the laws and you're in New York, New Jersey, and it say there's a legal limit on that, and it's within the range you like to mess with.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform made for anyone with an idea and a drive to bring it to life. Describe what you want and watch it take shape. You can plan, customize, and expand in any direction. From tools built for one to platforms ready for many. From passion projects to enterprise-grade systems. Everything is built in and ready to launch. It's a new world of creation where you can go as far as your imagination takes you. Can you imagine it? Let's make your dream a reality right now.
But the person said that it didn't take place in New York and it didn't take place in New Jersey. Now, with the paternity test, it says that you are fine with doing it with a 16-year-old. That person can easily get you on charges where it's not legal. I can see why you won't take the test. I can see it. Anyway, if anything out there, that the people who are supporting Rymir, or even those who aren't, and they're popular people, they all have at least a dog in the fight. 50 Cent don't got he's not really buddy chum with Jay-Z, but you know how he trolls everybody. He's a kind of backing Rymir. This is what Mrs. Nicki Minaj said, Jay-Z, call me to settle this karmic debt. And anyone still calling him H-O-V, Hove, will answer to God for the blasphemy. I'm not sure Nicki can speak about God. But hey, at least she's saying something. At least she's saying something. Because don't forget, she says that Rock Nation owes her like $100 or $200 million, something like that. A lot of money. A lot of money. Anyway, look again. This is a big deal. It's not some small deal because if we consider the Diddy case big, we have to consider this bigger. There, like I said, this is a more tangible proof than anything else we've seen for Diddy. Whether you consider New York or New Jersey rules to be legal at 16 or not legal at 16, the Jigga Man's been all over. He's been in California. He has been in New York. He has been in Florida. He's been everywhere. While his entity might be located in one specific state, that is in no way, shape, form, or fashion going to stop people from coming forward from different states where he may have traveled to, trying to test for talent to say, yes, I wanted to have a contract with Jay-Z and I didn't get my contract, but he promised me something. And when I went to his tent, went to his green room, he had his way with me, abused me sexually, and then never heard from him again. This will open floodgates. Jay-Z could be on the verge of absolute collapse if this DNA test proves that he's the father. Of course, if it proves that he's not the father, he's off the hook completely and he's done. And he can countersue the guy for mental turmoil and get rid of him altogether, which Jay-Z might do. But the lack of willingness to take the DNA test tells us a lot more than anything else. He knew the age. He understands at least the imagery of it. And he knows what could come as a result of it. That's why he won't do it. Now, if Rymir can prove to the courts that's why he has a suspicion why he's not doing it, I guarantee you that he can make the judge force Jay-Z to take that test. If you can bring this to the judge, Rymir, that tells him, look, the reason why Jay-Z's unwilling is not because he's not the father, it's because he's concerned about the age and what it would be, we need to have this DNA test. Find the right judge that's sympathetic to that, it's over for Jay-Z. If it proves that is his kid. Time will tell. As soon as we know more, we'll let you know. We will be keeping an eye on this one because I think this one could end up being, like you said, bigger than Puff, simply because of what it entails and what kind of track record proof you can go.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because if it does come down to it that he did have relations with his mother when she was 16, then, it's going to be something.
What up, though? Slide here. I want to introduce you to your new favorite collaborative.
What's up, everybody? Is Make It Make Sense, y'all. This Jay-Z and his alleged son situation just keeps getting more messy and more messy. We got to talk about it. And y'all, it's not just about having a Maury show moment. There is money on the table, which might be why he's fighting tooth and nail. But we're going to talk about it. Like the video's intro plays, we got a lot to get into.
Make it make sense. Could somebody please make it make sense?
Big moves. Surfer.
Okay, y'all. So I'm not even gonna lie. I had to really get reacquainted with this case, but then once I started finding these documents and pulling these strings, I said I had to bring this story to you guys. So you will be seeing a few short videos mixed in with my long form content. Like the video on your way in, subscribe if you are new to the channel. Let's get right into it. Just a little refresher on Jay-Z and his alleged lookalike son.
Son of Jay-Z's making more headlines than ever, Rymir Satterthwsite's been trading legal traps with the Rock Nation founder, with details spilling out across court docs surrounding his allegations. Here's everything we know about the person suing a billionaire media mogul. For one, Rymir's lawsuit alleges Jay's ignored repeated calls for a paternity test. Per Rymir and his godmother's legal filings, Rymir's mother Wanda allegedly engaging in a brief romance with the pre-famed Jay, who allegedly fathered Rymir with, at the time, a 16-year-old Wanda, who has since died. Rymir's team accused...
Do y'all like how E! News is putting the soundtrack to this, which makes this so much messier. Like it's a cold case.
Accusing Jay of tampering with legal proceedings, misusing his high-profile influence with public officials, along with claiming Jay's never outright denied he's Rymir's biological father. Meanwhile, Jay's new filing contends Rymir's lawsuit's just the latest in decades-long harassment. Inside the June 16th court docs obtained by E! News, Jay's attorney said the fabricated allegations and claims have been addressed and rejected in multiple other courts. Jay's team also saying they attempted contact with Rymir's godmother and co-plaintiff, but she hung up after they called to request more time to prepare their response. E! News has reached out to both Jay-Z and Rymir for comment, but has not yet heard back.
Okay, just a little, I thought that the music behind that was kind of funny. But anyway, let's get right into it. So this is what they filed. Defendant's request for judicial notice in support of motion to dismiss and motion to strike. Literally, it is, each exhibit is all of the other dismissals dating back to 2010. Order denying petition for genetic testing by the Honorable Doors of the Court of Philadelphia County Court of Common Pleas Family Court Division. Pursuant to Federal Rule of Evidence 201, defendant Sean Corey Carter, this young man's father, respectfully requests, does not say that, or respectfully requests that the court take judicial notice. Basically, they're saying that each time this gets dismissed, and it needs to be dismissed now. Jurisdiction. Once I started getting into this case, though, there are a lot of sticky things. For starters, why has an attorney not taken this young man's case? I talked to Simone, if you guys know, Girls That Legal. She's a good friend of mine. And I was like, the court of public opinion is fighting really hard for this young man. If you weren't the father, how simple would it be for you just to take the test and then you're done? Simone said the other side to that coin is if you take this test, then 100 other people could request tests. My response to that would be, so what? Before we get into the money aspect of this, Jay-Z's credibility, Jay-Z's what used to be a squeaky clean image, would potentially be in jeopardy because the girl was underage. I think that it's just my opinion. Don't sue me, Rock Nation. It's just my opinion that he just might be the daddy, but cannot acknowledge that because of what it would do to his reputation. You guys remember that when Jay-Z is innocent of something, he fights tooth and nail. Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs' R-word lawsuit dismissed by Jane Doe's attorney. Jay-Z fought this tooth and nail, had Rock Nation's Instagram and Twitter putting out smart-ass comments. All of these things were going on when you knew you were innocent. He is refusing to take this test for a reason. Now, you can't always go by what somebody looks like, but Jay-Z definitely has a look. You guys can put in the comments if you think they look alike. I'm seeing some resemblance. Jay-Z clearly has some strong genes. But even if multiple people came out the window and submitted like all of these complaints to the court, that doesn't mean that they would ever actually go to trial or anything like that. I'm just a lay person, but for me, it feels like he is avoiding this one as opposed to facing it head on. A simple paternity test would lay this all to rest. You have major news outlets covering this young man's story right after the R word claims. Like, these are not good media moments for Jay-Z. We're not even getting into Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend backing up some of Nicki Minaj's claims of the Rock Nation stuff, or Rock Nation's president having all of these claims against her from her daughter. It feels like the walls are closing in, but unfortunately for Rymir, filing your own lawsuit and fighting, whether it be the good fight or not, against a billionaire probably won't turn out well. I understand that the young man really wants to show that his mom was not a liar. I don't think going at this without a team of attorneys will end up well. So I told you guys that it was more than just peeing in the cup. He's asking for some damages, y'all. There is money. Plaintiff therefore respectfully requests restitution of the value of support unjustly withheld.
Oh yeah, he was requesting like basically restitution / child support because Jay never helped out the mom or cared for the kid. So he's asking for everything that he owes him, basically.
Meaning that Jay-Z fought child support, and whatever amount he was making from those years, he is owed that money. That's millions of dollars at this point. Recovery of litigation-related expenses incurred in pursuit of relief. Now, I'm not sure what that's about since he has been filing these pro se. So the cost of the suit, okay, and such other and further equitable relief as the court deems just. Also, he wants general and compensatory damages in the amount to be proven at trial, including but not limited to emotional distress, reputational harm, loss of financial support, out-of-pocket legal and litigation expenses, restitution and disgorgement of all unjust gains retained by defendant as a result of the wrongful conduct alleged therein, including the value of support wrongfully withheld and financial advantages secured through obstruction and concealment. Basically saying,
Like, if he did do that, well, she's 16, right? He's a pedophile, straight up. But we already knew that, and I don't care if that girl came out to be if they said she was a liar. The autistic girl said Puffin and him did that stuff to her back in 2009 or whatever it was. I think it was 2009, 2011, some shit like that. I believe that. Jay is not a good man.
everything that I would have been afforded as your child, and I'm sure that's in the millions as well. Punitive and exemplary damages pursuant to California Civil Code, declaratory relief, declaring that all judgments, liens, sealings, and orders and other court actions obtained through fraud upon the court are null, void, unenforceable, and constitutionally invalid. Now, that's the claims. I think that pertains to the claims that his caregiver made about Jay-Z doing some unsavory things to her. Y'all, this is also about money. This is not just a Maury court case. This is not just you are the father. And I'm really thinking that is, we know why Jay-Z can't come out and say this. We know between Beyonce and Solange, Jay-Z can't really just be saying I was dibbling dabbling with somebody who was underage. But let's get into that because I told you guys it's a little messy. The initial, you know, I like to do my research. The initial order was kind of messy. And I also brought this up to Simone and we had a little bit of a back and forth. So it was July 16th, 2010. Damn, almost 15 years ago to the date. So 15 years ago and 3 days ago, the judge said, motion for genetic testing filed by mother is denied. There was no service on Sean Carter, who did not appear. As a matter of law, the motion must be denied because mother cannot wait 17 years to name a second person as the father of her child when she identified another person as the father 16 years ago and never attempted to recant that identification until now. Now, that's a lot. But to break it down, She had another man on the initial birth certificate.
Here's how I got my team to use Monday Sales CRM and actually like it. Let me start by saying it's so easy to use that I won them over right away. Onboarding was seamless, and now every little detail of our pipeline is in one place. Whether it's legal or sales, everyone can find the smallest details within a few seconds. From changing a status to sending an AI-generated mass email, everything is quick and simple. Then, my team saw how drag and droppable it was, and they got right to work. Colors were flying and columns were zooming, and not one admin request was in sight. We love how customizable it is. It didn't take long before we created amazing dashboards and automations that perfectly fit our cross-company needs. Now that we all get real value from our CRM, we work more efficiently than ever. Monday Sales CRM. Try it. Your team will thank you.
What if your website's success was only limited by one single thing? Privacy regulations. Details matter. Imagine if the Egyptians had run out of limestone just before finishing the pyramids. What if NASA had forgotten the password just before putting the first man on the moon? What if you failed to respect your users' data privacy choices? You've poured your heart and soul into your business. Don't fail at the last step. Enter CookieBot's Web CMP, offering easy implementation, customizable cookie banners, and automation, all designed to boost consent rates and build trust through the power of privacy-led marketing. That way, you can focus on what really matters: growing your business. Start for free at cookiebot.com.
Sorry, let me take this off. She had another man on the initial birth certificate. And Simone says that I think around the age of 8 is when he took a test and realized that he was not the father. I don't like the way this order is written, because if the other man determined at the time that the child was 8 that he was not the father, why would she need to recant any story? She's now saying that this man is the daddy. Why would she need to recant that story? There's so many parts of this story. So another man was paying child support, ordered to pay child support, I guess at least until the boy was aged 8. The second thing that they filed, the second exhibit, was from the second judge, which was in 2011. It says in March of 2011, appellee filed a second motion for genetic testing, naming appellant. By order dated May 19, 2011, the trial court denied this second motion for genetic testing on the basis that the matter was res judicata as a final order and was entered in the matter July 16, 2010. Basically, they're saying we have already made a decision on this. You're not getting genetic testing. What are y'all thinking? Are y'all thinking Jay-Z is the daddy? I think they look alike. I think that his mom was extremely young. Back then, Jay-Z was just a little petty drug dealer. So maybe the other man was somebody who had a little bit more money. So we'll say the other man was a mailman. Oh, shit. Hopefully the other man was also just in high school. Because again...
Yeah, he said he's a little petty drug dealer. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that is true, though. You always went around. Just playing around with shit. Doing some edits. But, yeah, man. Now, let's go all the way back to where Jay got his moves from, and that's because Puff moved him at an early age. You can read Kim Porter's book; it explains it.
And she was young. Young kids make mistakes. Young kids, she might have thought that the other man was the father, but if he turned out not to be the father by the time this kid was 8, I don't understand why her request for paternity of a 17-year-old would have been denied. even if somebody else was on the birth certificate, it really wouldn't matter because the paternity test said you are not the father. So there are so many twists. I'm going to get with another attorney that actually works specifically with paternity and see if there's something that I'm not seeing. I'm a layperson, right? But if you know an attorney who works specifically with custody battles, tell them to tap in and maybe we'll do a live with them because something is missing here. I don't think, unfortunately, guys, I don't think that this new court case that was filed recently has a chance if he doesn't get an attorney soon. We have now 15 years worth of dismissals. I think the dude deserves to know who his father is. And if just peeing in a cup.
I feel like it's been that long, so let's just, let's just see what happens with it but Jay don't want to do it at all because he knows if he is found out to be the father, once he takes that paternity test and he pisses in that cup, everybody's gonna look at him like a pedophile. But it's the same shit when he was in his 30s when Beyonce was 19, bro. That should already tell you something. Like, he found B when he was in his 30s, bro, and she was 19, so that already looked wrong. So, I think everybody looks at him like that already. So I think he should just fuck around and piss in that cup and let's see.
Don't upload your videos to YouTube, upload to Restream, where we will live stream it to YouTube and all your platforms.
That's his son.
You think that's his son?
Yeah. First of all, JC offered them money. At first, he offered them bread, like, and everything, but his aunt didn't approve of it. She said no.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, though. Supposedly, Jay-Z offered the mom bread, offered the son bread, but he said he don't want the bread. He just wants to know if that's his dad or not. Which, you turning down bread from Jay-Z, that must mean that you really want to see if this is your dad or not. And it's about the principle. You're not even caring about the money at this point. So, yeah.
And all, Jay-Z got a lien on her house, all type of shit that was going on. The lady put up paperwork and everything with his name on it and all that. I mean, but young boy's so thorough though. He just want a dad. He not trying to get no money. He not trying to do none of that. But something happened to him, and I was like, yo, that sounds kind of weird. He said he was coming out from work, going to work, and it was a gun in his car. Like when he opened the door, he seen the gun. He said he went to go call his man, like, yo, did you leave a gun in my car? His man's like, no. He said, why you on the phone talking to his man? The cops pull up and lock him up. He said he told the cops, no, that's not my gun. He's like, so he went in the building he was in, and they seen somebody pulled up and put the guns in his car.
Oh,
and pulled off. I said, bro, I don't know nobody in the hood that got guns to just waste like that to do that. I don't know what. He's like, yeah, so like Jay-Z had a gag order against him, like trying to get a gag order and trying to. If my thing is, if this is not my son, I'll just take a test, get over with.
Yeah.
Has Rymir Satterthwsite finally gotten Jay-Z to admit that he's actually his biological father? Because after 10 years of Jay-Z twisting and turning every which way just to avoid taking a paternity test, the court has finally put its foot down and ordered Jay-Z to get those DNA tests done for once and for all.
Do you believe wholeheartedly that Jay-Z's your father?
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like, it's not far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do. Like, it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot, seeing a lot. I could take me being embarrassed. Like, just can't take nobody not saying nothing.
And let me tell y'all, these results have gotten the Carter household in a chokehold because Jay-Z's past might finally be catching up to him. The DNA test allegedly confirmed what Rymir has been saying for decades, which is that he is Jay-Z's firstborn son. And now that people are slamming Jay-Z for putting Rymir through all of this turmoil, Matthew Knowles is letting Jay-Z know just how badly he messed up this time. And this isn't just a simple father-son drama, because anytime Jay-Z is caught up in some mess, Beyonce always ends up getting dragged into it. And Matthew isn't here for Jay-Z continuing to embarrass his daughter and drag her into problems that are not her fault and she has no business being in. All right, y'all, so it's looking like there's no way for Jay-Z to run anymore with this this paternity drama because for the first time ever, Rymir Satterthwsite got a major breakthrough in his decades-long case against Jay-Z. Word is that the court finally let his case go through and ordered Jay-Z to provide DNA samples to put the drama to rest. If you've been keeping up with this case even a little bit, you know that it's been a long time coming with this one, and at some point, it looked like it was never going to happen because Jay-Z does have the resources to keep this thing going forever without giving Rymir what he wanted and deserves.
Never try to contact me in any type of way, and that's all I'm asking is like, cause I honestly really want the case to be over with. Like I've been going through, just like I said, a lot, and as I said, I'm not chasing nobody. I'm not trying to do this to make somebody seem like a bad person, a bad father. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person or nothing. I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? Why are you? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life, and I just want it over with.
The first time we ever heard about Rymir was back in 2010 when he first filed his paternity suit against Jay-Z. This was just 2 years after Jay-Z and Beyonce got married, and at the time, all of Rymir's efforts to get the case up and going was met with legal roadblocks. The Pennsylvania courts ruled against him because of his age at the time the case was filed, since he was already 18. From Pennsylvania, he took the case all the way to New Jersey. However, Jay-Z's legal team then argued that there's no reason why he should do a DNA test in New Jersey because he had no personal or professional ties to the state. So a judge dismissed the case. However, Rymir's lawyers quickly appealed, and they showed tax documents that showed that there was a Sean Carter who did have ties to New Jersey. Still, Jay-Z's lawyers doubled down, and they said that there's really no proof that the Sean Carter in those documents is in fact Jay-Z. This seemed like such a small detail, but it was enough to get the case dismissed again. Yet, Rymir kept going, revealing sensitive details that made it clear why he believes that Jay-Z could possibly be his father. According to him, his mother was only 16 years old when she met and started dating Jay-Z, who was 22 at the time. By the time Rymir was born in 1993, his mother and Jay-Z weren't in contact, and she had also gotten back with her high school sweetheart, Robert Graves. At the time, she decided the best thing to do was to put Robert's name on Rymir's birth certificate, but she later admitted to her son who his real father is. Rymir got a DNA test done with Robert, and the results proved that he was not Rymir's father. And when it was time for Jay-Z to take the test, he basically looked for every loophole possible to avoid giving up his DNA.
Way beyond, I feel like, right now I feel like I got a bigger fight. This is part of my life, so I won't stop fighting for, the paternity or anything else. Whatever I put my mind to, I fully go. I was hoping that it wasn't true, but if it is, honestly, you cannot do things like that. You will get what you deserve. I don't know what them guys was thinking. I don't know what he was thinking. If it's true, only he can respond and get himself out of this.
Rymir's case got so public that the NAACP and the ACLU took it up and fought on his behalf. Then in 2014, he filed the case again, only for it to be dismissed just as fast because he couldn't prove that Sean Carter in those documents really is Jay-Z. Now, Rymir has taken the matter all the way to New Jersey Supreme Court, where the court ordered Jay-Z to take the test. Getting to this point has been a major win for Rymir because ever since he came out with these claims, the internet has dragged him, saying he was just out for the clout and was looking for a quick money grab. But if you've listened to him, he's made it clear over and over again that he couldn't care less about the money, the attention, or the fame. The only thing he wanted was just to resolve who his father is. And going after Jay-Z consistently has been nothing but trouble for him because of the intimidation and harassment from Jay-Z's team. There was even one time he found a gun in his car. As he was trying to figure out how the gun got there, the police pulled up on him and started asking questions. From what Rymir said, the cops would have almost taken him in if it wasn't for the surveillance footage that caught someone putting the gun in his car. So this really isn't about the money for him because he knows the truth, and it will always feel like he has some unfinished business.
And get fair due process. They just been, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, so I can't get in there and actually know fully what's going on. I'm only there to, say what I believe in, and you guys can put me on the lie detector test, anything else you want me to do. I always been here to stand on the truth. I told them if it was wrong, I'm a man, I can apologize, but for me to go in there and ask for fair due process and not get it, and they just throw you all around like you're a rag doll, I just find that to be crazy, and I really think we need to change that. Like it's craziness, you know. I'm not asking for nothing. I always been on here. I wasn't never asking for nothing. People can say what they want. As I said, I work, you know, I'm doing great. I gotta take care of my kids. Like I'm driving a nice car, you know, I'm getting nice income. So it's not like I never been here asking for nothing or trying to get 15 minutes of fame. So people just gotta realize that these court systems and these people that's out here and controlling these people that's in the court systems, we need to change it, because we can't go and get fair due process. What are we all paying taxes and all this for?
So now that the law finally seems to be on Rymir's side, you know he's just relieved that he can finally see the whole thing come to an end. But do y'all want to know who isn't too happy right now? Matthew knows, because word on the street is that he's getting really frustrated with Jay-Z's past coming back to haunt him, not just because of Beyonce either. From the cheating scandals to Jay-Z's alleged involvement with Diddy, and now this. Beyonce always ends up getting caught up in it, and not in a good way. If the DNA results came out and it proves that Jay-Z really is Rymir's dad and had something to do with his mother while she was a minor, you can't even begin to imagine the kind of drama that would fall back on the Carters. And this is not just about Jay-Z and Beyonce, it's also about their family, because this coming to light could blow up their entire legacy and destroy everything they've worked hard for. So it's important for Jay-Z to make sure that the door stays closed to protect his family. Well, the family he actually wants to claim. And it looks like Jay-Z might be taking what Matthew Knowles said to heart, because he just gave a very definite response to Rymir's allegations for the first time since this whole thing started. He said that this lawsuit is the latest chapter in what he's calling a decades-long harassment campaign, and that despite his allegations being addressed and rejected by multiple courts, Rymir has continued to carry on to whoever would listen to him. Jay-Z's legal team has also fired back at all of those claims Rymir made about them intimidating him, and claimed that it was a flat-out lie. According to them, they did try to reach out to Satterthwsite's guardian just to see if they could arrange a meeting, but it was met with hostility, and all attempts at communicating have dropped since then. I don't know about you guys, but I do think that Jay-Z and his team are holding out way more than they need to. If he is so sure that Rymir isn't his son, why not just do the DNA test and put it to end? The fact that he's been okay with letting this run on for years rather than just settling it for once and for all makes it seem like there may be some truth, or a lot of truth, to what Rymir has been saying, and the internet definitely thinks that there's something up with the way Jay-Z keeps running from the truth. I really do fear for Rymir. Having to beg Jay-Z to take a paternity test for years is heartbreaking. I hope he has fair legal representation to protect him. It's wild that people have the power to allegedly manipulate legal process. Enough is enough. Take the test. I'm not going to lie. If it comes out that this is Jay-Z's son for real, and Jay went all these years with ignoring this boy, then Jay-Z ain't the ninja y'all think he is, because that's some loser AS. I don't think Jay-Z can claim Rymir if he wanted to, because if he doesn't, we'll all know that he's a PDF, and that's why he's been dodging the DNA test. I hope Rymir gets the justice he's looking for. But do you guys think it's possible for Jay-Z to really be Rymir's father? And have you really studied a side-by-side picture of the two of them? Sound off in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe, because there is much more drama that we're going to be covering on this topic. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies.
What up, though? Slade here. I want to introduce you to your new favorite collaborative tool. Let's go. My favorite part is that the name is what you're going to do. Start with your own loop. From there, you can open up your DAW, start firing off right away. Either if it's just a piano, maybe it's a little bit layered. After that, you're going to export it and then bring it into splices. Start with your own loop. It's literally that simple. From there, it's going to analyze it for BPM and chord structure. Next step is you're going to identify exactly what this is. Is this piano? Is this a pad? Is this hip hop? Is this EDM? Find the loops that you like, cycle through, and you're just going to bring it right into your DAW. Chop it up, add your special sauce, and there you have it. Start with your own loop. With that being said, we are out. Peace.
Share their petty stuff with you, and then the people that she got for the pension for all the time, bro. But I guess it's gonna be good.
This summer only, hydrate like never before with Powerade Extra Sour. Powerade Extra Sour. Extra sour, extra game.
She had me and my brother.
Okay. Okay. Different fathers?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So how old was she when you were born? Are you the oldest,
Yeah,
youngest?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. So you were the firstborn.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And so how old was she when you were
I think
born?
15 going on 16.
15.
It just, as I was growing up, my mom always told me, my mom always gave me a hint that my father wasn't my father, and she told me exactly who my father was. I would just be doing so much and running, and it just really dawned on me. It's the man that my mom was underage when she consumed me. Anyone who'd have been older than
Jay's been dodging a paternity test for his alleged son, Rymir, for years. And now it looks like we finally know the real reason he's so scared to take the test. Rymir has been fighting this battle in court for a whole decade. But instead of just taking a DNA test and ending the drama, Jay's been throwing cash and lawyers at the problem to keep it buried. Well, Rymir's case just got a major green light from a judge, which means Jay can't avoid it anymore. But that's not even the story. There's also some new reports circulating about Rymir's late mom and her age when she allegedly got pregnant by Jay-Z. And let's just say, if these reports are true, it explains why Jay is refusing to take the test. As you all probably know, Jay's faced allegations for years about messing with women who weren't legal adults. And this thing with Rymir's mom just adds more fuel to those rumors. So what's really going on behind the scenes? Why won't Jay-Z just take the test and get it over with if he's so sure Rymir is lying?
I never asked for money. I don't do interviews just saying, hey, Jay-Z, give me your money, or I'm coming after Jay-Z for his money. I never did that. I'm not that type of person. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person or nothing. I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? Why you? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life, and I just want it over with.
The whole story is insane. So let me break it down for you. Rymir Satterthwsite has been saying for years that Jay-Z is his father. But Jay kept dodging a paternity test and allegedly using his wealth and power to block Rymir's case in court. Now people are seriously side-eyeing Jay because instead of just taking the test and shutting it all down, he's been spending big bucks on lawyers to fight it. And it's bizarre that this has dragged on so long when a simple DNA test could settle it. It's like the more Jay fights, the more it looks like he's hiding something. But things just got flipped, and Rymir scored a big legal win. Multiple outlets reported last week that a judge gave the green light for Rymir's case to move forward, which means Jay-Z is finally required to respond to the paternity suit. Now, a lot of people have been asking why Jay-Z won't just take the test and be done with it. Some sources claimed it's about money, but this makes no sense since Rymir is 32 and he can't get retroactive child support. And then others speculate that Jay-Z is simply desperate to protect his rebranded image as a loyal family man after cheating on Beyonce. But the real reason, y'all, might be way darker. Allegedly, Jay-Z is dodging the test because Rymir's mom was only 15 or 16 when she got pregnant. To give you some background, Rymir's case was first reported in the media back in 2015 when Rymir filed a paternity suit with the help of his legal guardian and godmother, Lily Coley. And in his filing, Rymir claims Jay had an affair with his late mother, Wanda, back in the 90s. But according to Lily, who's a paralegal, Jay-Z and his attorney presented fraudulent and false info in court, leading to the case being thrown out. But Rymir refused to give up his fight. Back in 2018, The Sun reported that Rymir filed new court papers accusing Jay of using his money and fame to avoid taking a paternity test for more than 8 years. And this is where things start to get shady. Rymir kept getting shut down in court because the judge was supposedly told that his biological father had already been identified. But then The Sun got a copy of Rymir's birth certificate, and surprise, there's no father listed at all. And then the court docs dropped another bombshell. Turns out some people on Rymir's own legal team were secretly working with Jay-Z's lawyers behind the scenes. In an exclusive interview with The Sun, Rymir said he's been denied the right to have a fair hearing in court because of legal mistakes and malpractice. Jay-Z is supposed to be a positive role model for our community. He stands there screaming Black Lives Matter. Well, tell the truth and take responsibility, Rymir said. And if you say I'm not your son and nothing ever happened with my mom, then just take the test. Rymir also told The Sun that his mom Wanda first told him Jay was his father when he was about 8 years old. According to Wanda, she and Jay-Z hooked up back in 1992 at his aunt's apartment in the Brooklyn projects. She said they used protection, but it failed. And after that night, she never saw Jay again or had any way to reach him. By 2010, Wanda's health had declined and custody of Rymir was given to Lily Coley. Lily also spoke to The Sun and said she's convinced Jay-Z is Rymir's biological dad. And according to Lily, Wanda got pregnant shortly after meeting Jay when she was only 15 or 16 years old. But it gets even crazier. According to Rymir's lawsuit filed in 2018, Jay-Z's lawyer made Wanda sign legal papers while she was in the hospital recovering from a medicated coma, which replaced Lily's name on the petition without consent and for nefarious reasons. And because of this, the court once again threw out the case. And that's when things took a really dark turn. After the case was thrown out, Rymir and his godmother Lily went on Hip Hop News Uncensored and revealed that Rymir was shot after filing charges against Jay-Z.
Shot at somewhere in September. He was in the parking lot with other people near where he's at living now. And out of all the cars there, his was the only one shot up. So we believe that that was a nexus or a connection, I believe, between the case and what's going on because it was around the time.
Lily also revealed that around the time Rymir filed the lawsuit, random people started showing up at her home trying to scare and intimidate her.
In addition to that, we've had people come to my home in the past, driving on the grass. We have people knocking on the door at 4 o'clock in the morning. We've been through all of it, mostly around the filing time. So this is a bigger picture than.
She also went on to say that this fight isn't just about Jay-Z, but also about exposing how the rich and powerful manipulate the legal system.
We want to try to make a difference with.
I know you guys have never used samples like this before. Have you guys ever wished that your sample library knew exactly what your track needed? This is Co-Producer, the fastest way to find samples that fit your track. It listens to your track and pulls in samples that fit the rhythm, harmony, and key automatically. No more scrolling and no more random loops that don't match the vibe. You can ask it to find specific sounds or let it listen to your track and suggest something that could be cool. Plus, you get unlimited access to every sound, so no credits, no paper download, just drag and drop. Simple. You can audition everything inside your DAW, stay in flow, stay creative. And the sounds made by actual musicians. Analog processed, crazy good. If your sample workflow feels stuck, this is going to be the fix. Try Co-Producer free and let your track pick the sounds.
I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for.
Sling lets you do that.
I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for and let me pause my subscription when I want. Sling let you do that. Yeehaw! I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for and let me pause my subscription when I want and have hundreds of free channels. Sling let you do that too.
Choose and customize your channel lineup or watch for free. Sling lets you do that.
The Pro Se Act or the Legal Abuse Act, bringing new legislation and trying to sit down at the table with the lawmakers to make a difference. In addition to the fact, because, like you said before, Mr. Carter might not never do anything, and I'm sure he probably won't, but it ain't about him. This is about the system allowing things to happen that were very agreed and put our lives at stake in some regards. So I just wanted to say that that's what another reason why we were still going to the criminal stuff for the second time. This time the prosecutor's office locally did get involved, but everything is slow moving and things are happening, and it's corruption going on. It says in New Jersey that if the person who resists to take the test is presumed the father. That's what the law says. Here in New Jersey, anybody who don't want to do it and go away from doing it or prevents from doing it is presumed the father. So right now he's presumed the father. He's not even alleged.
But just when Jay thought he'd buried this whole situation for good, Rymir finally got his case to move forward. And after Jay-Z's name came up in that Jane Doe lawsuit against Diddy, Rymir called him out for the hypocrisy of claiming to protect kids while dodging responsibility for his. If you remember, Jane Doe accused Jay and Diddy of graping her when she was 13. And in that first statement he released, Jay said he lives by very strict codes and honor and is all about protecting children. But then Rymir responded with his own statement saying, if Mr. Carter Carter values the ideals of honor and protecting children, as he claims in his letter, he should step forward with transparency. He continues to deflect and avoid. Rymir has now filed a new lawsuit against the New Jersey court system and multiple judges, accusing them of conspiring with Jay-Z for over a decade to get his paternity cases thrown out. In the court docs, Rymir's lawyer claims Jay lied under oath by saying he didn't own any property in New Jersey, leading the court to believe it had no jurisdiction over him. But Rymir's team says they've got property deeds and tax records with Jay's name on them to prove that wasn't true. According to the filing, Jay-Z used his wealth and influence to manipulate the legal system, which caused Rymir's earlier cases to be blocked or dismissed. The lawsuit also says Rymir's car was shot at by unknown individuals after he started speaking out about the injustices he faced when reporting his case to the New Jersey authorities. On top of that, both Rymir and his godmother Lily claim in the filing that they were followed by unidentified people around their neighborhood and had cars pulling onto their lawn at 4 a.m. And they believe all of this was orchestrated by people connected to Jay-Z. But let me know what y'all think. Do you think Rymir is telling the truth? And what do you think is the real reason Jay-Z refuses to take the test? Drop all your comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Watch to the end for a discount code to Restream's Upload and Stream. Being a content creator can feel like you've always got to be on, always live. It's overwhelming. So stream smarter. Upload your video to Restream, and we'll stream it live whenever and wherever you want. Maximize your audience and growth while Restream frees you up to do whatever. Morning, afternoon, or late at night, your stream goes live exactly when you've planned, even while you're offline. It's not about streaming all the time, it's about streaming smarter. Upload and stream from Restream.
The other way, the tax and slam.
Dreams do come true. I am showering on Netflix.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever.
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right?
The moment Rymir Satterthwsite was rushed into the hospital, everything stopped. The cameras, the headlines, the speculation, all of it suddenly felt darker. This wasn't just a footnote in some celebrity feud. This was a 31-year-old man whose body finally seemed to buckle under the pressure of a battle that had consumed nearly half his life. And the timing? Beyond suspicious. Just as his lawsuit against Jay-Z was picking up steam again, as a legal team representing one of the most powerful men in music scrambled to extinguish a very public fire, Rymir was wheeled into a hospital bed, weakened and silent. Was it just stress? A breakdown from the decade-long war for identity and recognition? Or was something far more sinister playing out behind the scenes?
Because, you know, I really wanted to find out who my father was, and for the case not to go how I was planning it, I really thought it was going to go different than...
For those of us who've been following this saga, Rymir's fight hasn't been about clout or money. It's been about a name, one name, and the man who refuses to give it to him. From the start, Rymir insisted that his mother, Wanda, had a brief relationship with Sean Carter back in 1992 when she was only 16. The math adds up, the documents back it up, and every step of the way, he's been met not with empathy, not with answers, but with sealed records, legal tricks, and what his legal team has repeatedly called fraudulent interference. And now he's in the hospital at the most pivotal moment of his life, as he once again tried to force Jay-Z into a DNA test. Rymir's body gave out. Or was it forced to? Because here's where things get murky, and fast. According to a source close to Dr. Lily Coley, the woman who stood as Rymir's legal guardian since his mother passed away, strange things started happening right after they refiled the lawsuit in New Jersey. Men following them, unmarked vehicles loitering outside their house, late-night phone calls. The kind of intimidation you read about in political thrillers, not in family court documents. Coley described a shadow descending over their lives, claiming she and Rymir both feared for their safety. One insider even alleged that a former associate of Rock Nation let it slip that the mogul was willing to do whatever it takes to make this nuisance go away. And then, out of nowhere, boom, Rymir collapses, he's hospitalized, and for the first time in over a decade, the courtroom goes quiet. Now look, it's easy to dismiss that as paranoia. A few shadowy figures and some anonymous threats don't exactly prove anything. But the rumor mill isn't known for silence, and what it's been screaming lately is this. Jay-Z allegedly sent men to confront Rymir, to pressure him, to push him into dropping the suit once and for all. It all not through negotiation, not through settlement, but through fear. No official connection has been established, of course, no fingerprints, no names. But intimidation doesn't always come with a paper trail. Sometimes all it takes is a knock on the door and a whispered warning to leave the past in the past.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
But why? Why risk a scandal of this magnitude if there's truly nothing to hide? That's the real question, isn't it? Why not just take the test, end the speculation, prove your innocence with a simple cheek swab and walk away the victor? Instead, Jay-Z's legal team has spent years, literal years, arguing jurisdiction, playing legal hot potato between Pennsylvania and New Jersey. At one point, his lawyer outright lied about Jay-Z owning property in New Jersey, only to later admit she misspoke.
I'm almost like an old man at heart. I don't know why I've been like that since I was young. Even with producing, I still like making beats the old way. But I love when something new or some new piece of technology, some new equipment come out. Because it's like, dang, I can use that to...
According to New Jersey law, knowingly providing false information in court filings is, well, not exactly a minor slip. And it's these kinds of mistakes that have fueled the theory that Jay-Z is terrified of what a DNA test might reveal, especially since the timing of Wanda's pregnancy suggests she was underage when she allegedly slept with him. And this is where the tragedy deepens.
No, it was the text now though. It cuts out sometimes all the way. Why is it on YouTube?
Wanda isn't here to speak anymore. She passed in 2019 after years of trying to get courts to hear her voice. Her demise left Rymir alone in this fight, stripped of the one person who was willing to risk everything to expose the truth. There's still no official word on what exactly caused Wanda's passing, but friends close to the family say she spent her final months overwhelmed, exhausted, and terrified that her son would never know who he really was. The silence surrounding her demise has only made people whisper louder. Was it natural? Was it pressure? Or was it part of a long game? The kind of strategy a billionaire could afford to play when the stakes were legacy.
Apartment building, and you know, they did what they did in there, you know, talked a little bit, had a good time, party, and I guess had sex. Because, you know, I can't fully talk as my mom because I'm not my mom. I'm just telling you guys what she told me. It was this, and I honestly just believe it. You know, it's just no doubt in my mind.
Even now, 5 years later, there are whispers that Wanda had started writing a memoir, something raw, something she planned to publish herself. That manuscript, if it existed, has never surfaced. No one knows where it went or if it was even finished. What we do know is this: after she passed away, the fire didn't go out, it transferred. Rymir became the flame, and now, as he lies in a hospital bed, possibly recovering from something more than just physical fatigue, the flame flickers again. Jay-Z hasn't responded publicly to the latest hospitalization. No statement, no comment, just silence. And the same silence he's kept when pressed about the alleged threats. For a man who's built an empire on words, the refusal to say a single one to the man who claims to be his son speaks volumes. It's not just legal indifference anymore, it's personal. According to court filings, Jay-Z has never once written to Rymir, never acknowledged his existence, never so much as offered a denial directly. Not even when his own attorney was caught making false statements to block a court-ordered DNA test. If the allegations are false, wouldn't the natural thing be to set the record straight? But that hasn't happened. Instead, we're looking at a situation where power meets silence, and silence, in this case, has weight.
has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
And behind that silence is a legacy. Jay-Z isn't just a rapper anymore. He's a brand, a billionaire, a husband to Beyonce, a father, an empire. And if even a fraction of these claims were proven true, that he knowingly fathered a child with a 16-year-old, then used his power to bury the evidence, the damage would be catastrophic. Not just to his reputation, but to the machine he's built around it. His role in the Diddy allegations is already threatening to crack that image. Add a paternity scandal with potential criminal implications, and suddenly it's not just legacy on the line, it's survival. And let's not forget the backstory here. Rymir's mother, Wanda, wasn't some groupie making wild accusations. She swore under oath that she and Carter were involved. She identified him as the father long before the fame reached its current heights. And when the courts tried to bury her case under technicalities, jurisdictional games, age loopholes, she didn't back down. She passed that fight on to Dracoli, who continued pressing for answers even after losing Wanda. Together, they fought every appeal, every sealed record, every shady motion designed to keep the truth just out of reach. And now, with Rymir hospitalized and his mother's voice silenced forever, one question remains. Who will stand up to Jay-Z?
I got older and my mom just continued to say the same thing, and she never changed the name. Like, you know, she always was staying with the same name. I'm like, well, Mom, why? Like, as I got to 16, 17, I'm like, Mom, you've been saying this since I was a kid. So it's like, now my mom never lied.
And yet, as we stare into the uncertainty of Rymir's condition, a chilling sense of deja vu creeps in. Because this isn't the first time Jay-Z's name has brushed against shadows and silence. We've seen this storm before, back in 2001, when the music world lost a star that burned too brightly, too fast. Aaliyah, 22 years old, gone in a blaze of twisted metal and unanswered questions. Her fatal plane crash was ruled an accident, but let's not pretend that explanation ever satisfied the whispers. The rumors haven't just lingered, they've evolved, resurfaced, and tangled themselves into conspiracy threads so dark and specific they refuse to go away. What if her end wasn't just tragic, but orchestrated? We've long known there was a triangle brewing behind the velvet curtains of late 90s R&B royalty. Aaliyah, Dame Dash, and yes, Jay-Z. Before her whirlwind relationship with Dash became public, industry insiders claim Jay-Z had tried hard to win her over. Some say he was obsessed, that he saw in her something that couldn't be bought, a force, a freedom, a threat. And according to former Rockefeller insiders, it didn't sit well when Dame swooped in and claimed that spot. Jealousy, resentment, the classic story. But this wasn't a love triangle in a high school drama. These were men with power, egos, and millions at stake.
We're seeing common people around the world becoming supernatural when they follow this formula. They're healing themselves, they're creating new jobs, new opportunities, and they look just like you.
Why the f would you need to sign a don't ask about a plane crash if it was accidental?
Do you feel like...
Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Work with me here in this moment.
And I'm going to ask you.
A plane crash should be accidental.
Should be.
And then came the crash. A private plane rushed at the last minute. Overweight, improperly loaded, piloted by a man later found to have had toxic substances in his system and no proper clearance to fly. But that's not even the strangest part. A young island local, Kingsley Russell, later claimed that Aaliyah didn't want to board the plane, that she was visibly uncomfortable, had voiced her fears, and was reportedly given a sedative, a pill, before being carried unconscious onto that aircraft. Let that sink in. She may not have walked onto her own final flight. Now, we're not saying Jay-Z had a hand in that tragedy, but the eerie parallels are impossible to ignore. Aaliyah was at a point in her career where she was gaining control, making choices, carving her own path. Just like Rymir, who, despite being up against a billionaire machine, refused to go away. And both were silenced in the most permanent ways. One lost to the sky, the other clinging to life in a hospital bed after being allegedly threatened into silence. What happens to people who push too close to the edge of this empire? The entertainment industry has always had its dark corners, the secrets, the settlements, the NDAs that float like ghosts across boardrooms and dressing rooms. But With Jay-Z, we're talking about someone who not only survived the rap wars of the 90s, he mastered them. He turned criminal charges into credibility, flipped scandals into branding, and partnered with everyone from presidents to tech moguls. So when someone like Rymir starts pulling at a thread tied to the very beginning of that empire, when a name like Aaliyah still echoes with unresolved pain, it's not hard to believe that machine would activate to protect itself.
Why would any testimony about what happened leading up to it need to be covered under a non-disclosure agreement if there wasn't foul play?
Now, mind you, September 11th happened a week later. 9/11 happened a week later. Do you think that took away from it?
Once again,
Let's talk about Beyonce for a moment, because if you think she's just a bystander in all of this, you're not paying attention. According to legal sources close to the case, there have been private mediation attempts behind the scenes, not just from Carter's camp, but from the broader Carter Knowles team, attempts to squash, delay, or discredit the claims before they hit public courts. Beyonce has publicly built her image on motherhood, empowerment, and justice. But behind closed doors, has she been pulling strings to protect her husband's legacy? Insiders suggest she's been far more involved in legal strategy than the public knows, attending select briefings, signing off on communications, and allegedly suggesting aggressive media pushback when Rymir's lawsuit gained traction.
There are people who did short sales on their stocks right after that, made a lot of money, including Sean Carter. Now I'm going to ask you, why would non-disclosure agreements need to be signed for an accident?
And here's where it gets murkier. Just days before Rymir refiled his latest case, Carter was named in a separate civil suit, one that also included his longtime friend and fellow mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The allegations? Unspeakable acts at a 2000 afterparty. The same year Aaliyah passed away. The same circle of power. Coincidence? Maybe. But the timing is enough to raise eyebrows and questions. Because if the walls start closing in from multiple directions, it becomes more urgent than ever to discredit or silence the one person who could tear the whole narrative apart. We can't forget that Jay-Z's legal team has fought tooth and nail to keep records sealed, avoid testimony, and most notably, dodge any requirement for a DNA test. Despite public records showing his ties to multiple New Jersey properties, his lawyers argued he didn't live in the state. Despite Pennsylvania courts closing the case due to age cutoffs, they insisted the matter couldn't be refiled in New Jersey. It's been a legal ping-pong match spanning over a decade, and every time Rymir got closer, another procedural wall went up. But who builds those walls? And why are they afraid of a simple truth?
So at what age then did you start to question, who your parents could be?
Well, I wouldn't say I started to question it, but I said around like 7, maybe 6. I think it started at 6, and my mom was just telling me that my father wasn't my father. But as a kid, I really didn't look too much into it because
there are two kinds of power in this world, the kind you earn and the kind you protect. Jay-Z has spent years doing both, but protecting power often means controlling the narrative and those who challenge it. With Wanda gone, Dracoli aging, and Rymir possibly incapacitated, the opposition is weakening. And that's exactly when the empire strikes hardest. If Rymir doesn't survive this, or if he survives and walks away, the paternity claim vanishes, the lawsuit ends with him, and the narrative returns to normal.
I was a kid and I honestly didn't know what she was talking about. But, I did hear her, as I got older, 7, 8, 9, 10, and she continued with the same story. My mom wasn't crazy. She gave us everything. She would give if she said, give your life up for your kids right now, it wouldn't take a second for her to give her life up. She was just a lovely person, like everyone who knew my mom.
For over a decade, the core of Rymir's legal crusade hasn't just been about paternity. It's been about peeling back the layers of a justice system that seems to bend when billionaires enter the room. The case files are riddled with irregularities, sealed documents without clear cause, motions dismissed on flimsy technicalities, and contradictory property records that, when challenged, were simply brushed aside. One of the most damning moments came when Jay-Z's attorney openly admitted to misspeaking in court about the mogul's residency, a statement that effectively blocked the case from proceeding in New Jersey. Under state law, knowingly providing false information during court proceedings qualifies as fraud, yet no sanctions were issued, no consequences. The moment passed, and the case quietly stalled again. Behind those sealed records lies what Rymir's team has described as a systemic effort to erase his claim before it can ever be heard in full. Judges have recused themselves mid-proceeding without explanation. Orders have been handed down that reference non-existent gag clauses, and In a move that raised even more red flags, key court filings were marked confidential, not to protect minors or sensitive medical data, but seemingly to obscure procedural failures that favored Jay-Z's side. Legal analysts reviewing the timeline have pointed out multiple instances where court due dates were inexplicably extended, where sanctions were imposed on Rymir's team without justification, and where critical evidence vanished into sealed court archives. Every road seems to lead to a standstill, not by law, but by design.
Never got anything, so why wouldn't I believe my mom? Like, you know, we could have been settled this, and it only takes a conversation and some words. You know, I'm not a hateful guy. I don't hate anyone. I'm not after nobody. I'm not trying to see no one downfall. But this is just some, you know, some things that just went through court, and they just expected me to just sit there and just take.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform made for anyone with an idea and a drive to bring it to life. Describe what you want and watch it take shape. You can plan, customize, and expand in any direction. From tools built for one to platforms ready for many. From passion projects to enterprise-grade systems. Everything is built in and ready to launch. It's a new world of creation, where you can go as far as your imagination takes you.
What they were saying, I can't do that, because
This isn't just a personal battle anymore, it's a cautionary tale. Because if this can happen to someone like Rymir, who had sworn affidavits, documentation, and over a decade of persistence, what chance does anyone else have when standing up against the celebrity class? The intersection of wealth and justice has never been more exposed. We're watching, in real time, how access to elite lawyers and backroom influence can distort the very concept of fairness. And perhaps most chilling of all, this might not be an isolated case. How many other voices have been silenced, their truths buried under confidential stamps and procedural traps, simply because they dared to challenge the wrong name?
I don't have no felonies. I'm not crazy and none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And it seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything. So, you know, I don't want to see him go down for something that you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
But not for us. Not for those who remember how the industry turned its back on Aaliyah's questions, who still ask what really happened in the Bahamas, and who gave the final word that pushed her onto that plane. Because whether it's whispered in a backstage hallway or scribbled in sealed court filings, there's a pattern emerging. A pattern of people getting close to something and then disappearing, one way or another. We've seen how the system reacts to disruption. We've watched how survivors are dismissed, how lawsuits disappear, how settlements come with silence. But with the allegations surrounding Diddy now opening floodgates across the industry, Jay-Z's name is no longer untouchable. And Rymir may be the last person holding the key to a truth Carter's team has spent years trying to bury. As the scandals mount around Jay-Z, one thing is becoming clear. The truth always finds a way to surface. But with Rymir fighting for his life and the shadow of Aaliyah's demise still lingering, will we ever uncover the full story? Or will the powers that be bury the truth forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let us know. Is this all just coincidence? Or are we finally seeing the cracks in the Carter Kingdom? Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and remember, silence always leaves a trail. Flash.
This business AI hack feels illegal to know about. It's like Canva, ChatGPT, Google Docs, and Midjourney all had an AI baby. Go to this AI website, click turn website into content, and paste your business URL. For this example, let's use the Nike website. That's it. The AI is now analyzing the Nike website and automatically trains itself on Nike's brand of voice and can now create all your marketing assets for you. From Facebook and Google ads, to blog posts and newsletters, to Instagram posts and TikTok scripts. Simply select what type of content you want the AI to create. Check out these Facebook ad ideas, Google ad ideas, Instagram caption ideas, LinkedIn post ideas, and TikTok script ideas. It's called Blaze AI, and you can try it out for free. Check it out at blaze.ai.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can. First up, let's talk about AI color themes. You can get any combos you want, bold and bright, minimalist and sleek, or something you didn't even think of. Just describe the vibe you want, or even use the colors of your logo, and let AI do its thing. Beautiful. Next up is the AI section creator. This is great for those website essentials like a contact section or a place to subscribe. Now, I'm running a sale, so I punch in some details, and just like that, I have a promo section. Functional and beautiful. I love it. Now, for the AI text creator, I got some products that need description. So I type in some keywords, and there it is. I've got copy that lands. Now, let's see what the AI image creator can do. Sometimes you just want to spice up your visual game. Type your idea and watch it turn into a high-quality image in seconds. You can have some real fun with this. If you need to tweak something, just brush it over, write what you want, and there it is. I may not be an artist, but that's art. If you're ready to build something you love, head to Wix.
She's like, that's your. She's like, you're drawing your insecurity. Did you realize that you were a champion in their eyes?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Wow. Jay-Z's son, Rymir, has finally got what he's been praying for or asking for, probably praying as well, from the court, saying he wants to take a paternity test. Not a paternity test. Let's call it a paternity test. Well, he wants to see if Jay-Z is his father or not. A father-son test. I guess that's paternity, right? Oh, no, I get construed my words sometimes. But he said that Jay-Z was always his father. But the reason why Jay-Z didn't want to take the test to find out is because when Jay-Z got his mom pregnant, she was underaged. Wowzers. Now he's got what he's been wanting for the longest, you guys. The judge is granting him his wishes to say Jay-Z must take the test to find out if he is the father, not on one, but in the whole entire world, who always thought that him and Rymir looked alike.
So Jay-Z is trending because the judge has granted his alleged son, Rymir, his request to move forward with his paternity case against Jay-Z. And the judge has demanded that Jay-Z respond to the recent filing by July 18th. Well, you know who has been fueling this tea? Yep, good old 50 Cent. Now, I'm personally not surprised that 50 is the one spreading this tea. But you know what? He also has Nicki Minaj joining the bandwagon. Nicki reposted 50's post on X and was like, is this why he was trending the other day? IDK.
Wow.
To God be the glory. Well, allegedly, Beyonce is also out here.
I know this floating Nicki boat right now. Nicki said Jay-Z been against her with Rock Nation and Megan Thee Stallion, and everybody was doing her so wrong. So she's having a damn good field with this right here. She says about damn it time I get my lake back.
Blocking the case and once again influencing it, just like Rymir's godmother said a while back.
Beyonce thing came when a friend of mine who or somebody in her camp, and she said something supposedly regarding totally saying Rymir needs to go away, little boy, something to that effect. With this song they made, and then next thing I know, somebody was at my property. Somebody came to my property in the evening time and they had a conversation about trying to get in through the back door.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. I've seen reports suggesting that the judge has allowed this case to move forward because Jay-Z is allegedly a part of nefarious activity covering up an immoral transporting scheme that landed him with a son, aka Rymir. People are also saying that Jay-Z has been refusing to respond to the allegations because he knows he is the father. I mean, if there's something I have noticed is that Jay-Z doesn't hesitate about taking legal action when he believes someone is wrongfully after him. Did you see how he immediately cleared his name from allegations that he and Diddy S8 a 13-year-old? But now he won't step foot in court with this Rymir
All right, y'all. We gonna end it.